Hey everyone, welcome to the yearly Q&A video. I want to start off by saying thank you all for submitting your questions for the yearly Q&A video. And without further ado, let's get to some questions. What is the most immersive / enthralling railroad adventure you've experienced? Favorite railroad that isn't a tourist railroad or a mainline railroad? Traveling to Salt Lake City, Utah during the 150th anniversary of the Golden Spike celebration back in May of 2019 and the Wheeling and Lake Erie Railroad. Do you think it's likely that when it's completed, Pennsylvania 5550 might be one of the most famous steam locomotives on par with 4449, 611, and 844? What locomotive being restored am I most excited about? I think it would be because it would be a large streamlined steam locomotive. Even SP 4449 and NW 611 have a worldwide fan base, the fact that they are operating streamlined locomotives. The steam locomotive restoration I'm most excited about is Pennsylvania 1361. What is your favorite train series? What is the most underrated preserved steam locomotive in my opinion? Trains A New Era and Everett Railroad's Outgo 260 number 11. Which of the two New York Central Mohawks is in better condition? I think New York Central number 2933 is in better condition because I believe St. Louis weather doesn't have as much as of a wet climate as where New York Central 3001 is, being near the Great Lakes. Did you ever expected that CNW/NREX number 7009 would get preserved? Honestly, yes, whether it was a 7009 or any other SD50. Do you think that they should make a working replica of a New York Central J3A Hudson locomotive, and would I want to see it streamlined or not? I would definitely think a Henry Dreyfuss Hudson should be built from the ground up. I have heard hundreds of folks wanting to see one being built from the ground up as well, and I encourage those folks to come together and start a campaign for it. And the T1 Trust has shown us that newly built mainline steam locomotives can be made, and if one person can start something, anyone can start something. CPKC or Canadian National, what is your favorite fallen flag railroad? What is your favorite diesel locomotive? What are your thoughts and opinions on battery-powered locomotives? What is your favorite excursion locomotive, trains or choo-choo Charles? And which extinct diesel locomotive would I love to see in preservation? CPKC, the Pennsylvania Railroad, mine is actually the SD40-2 as well. From what I have learned for a while now, it seems to me that more companies are in favor of battery-powered locomotives versus hydrogen fuel cell. It'll be interesting to learn more as more things developed. In terms of operating excursion locomotives, Milwaukee Road 261, because it has traveled far from its original territory back in the 90s, including the final steam power New River train in West Virginia in 94, and going to Steamtown for its grand opening in 95. I'm more of a fan of trains versus choo-choo Charles. I would like to see an EMD DD35 preserved because of the size. Will you ever join a society? What is your favorite UP steam locomotive? Are you excited to see 3985 and 5511 return to steam? Do you think 3985 will masquerade as a Denver and Rio Grande Challenger once it returned to steam like Ed Dickens planned? Do you want one of your fans to write Challenger on 3985? If so, who should do so? And do you like the concept of Thomas and Friends, of which the show is taken realistically, but the only difference being the engines and some of the rolling stock have faces? I actually have been a member of the National Railroad Historical Society for over 6 years now. Union Pacific Big Boy 4014, I am 100% excited to see and ride behind 3985 and 5511 once they are operational. It is possible that 3985 can be masqueraded at some point. I honestly don't think that 3985 needs to have Challenger written on it because the number plate on the smoke box is more eye-catching to me. I really liked how Thomas and Friends series was made, especially during the 1990s. What is your favorite geared locomotive? My favorite geared locomotive is the Heisler. What is the status of those two Delaware and Hudson RF-16 Sharknose diesels in storage right now? Unfortunately, I could not find any updated information on those two Delaware and Hudson Sharknose units. Do you own a model railroad, and what are your opinions on Iowa's steam locomotives number 6988, 8419, and 7081? I currently do not own a model railroad, and I think it is really neat to have Chinese steam locomotives operating excursion trains in the United States because they give folks an opportunity to learn and experience steam locomotives from another country. When do you think Everett Railroad number 38 will be restored to operational condition? I think it all depends on the pace of shop work by the steam crew at the Everett Railroad, but the more work that gets done, the closer it is to operating again. What are your thoughts about CP 2816's run from Calgary to Mexico City that will happen in 2024? I think it'll be one of the most spectacular mainline steam tours in the 21st century, and definitely reminds me of Flying Scotsman's USA tour back in the late 1960s and early 1970s. What will Diesel Motive Company do with PNW number 1501? I think it is unknown what the future holds for 1501 besides being spared from scrap as of now. But if anyone has a great idea of what's going on with 1501, please let me know in the comments down below. What made you a fan of trains in the first place? Especially when I was real little, I was very amazed of how big and powerful trains are. Well, that is all the questions for this year's Q&A video. Thank you all for joining me. Click on the subscribe button and select the receive all notifications option for more railroad content on this YouTube channel. This is Transcontinental Railfan signing off, and I will see you in the next video.